Assalamualaikum and a very good day to our course lecturer, Madam Raudah Betty Danila. Today we are going to present our group assignment, the case study. Before we start, I'm going to introduce my group mate and myself. My group members are Nid Nurin Atira binti Nid Faizul 273031, Azira binti Azmi 273982, Anisha Nabila binti Jamal 272837, and I'm Izin Alish binti Muhammad Azrul Aridi with metric number 273033. We are taking set B as our group assignment. I am presenting questions A referring to purchase order and cash disbursements procedures. Use suitable software to prepare documentation of SESP syndrome Berhad. Enrollment, tables of entities and activities. As you can see, these are details of purchase order made by the SESP syndrome Berhad to the selected vendors to supply their needs, from prepare purchase order, purchasing, receiving or inspections, and update inventory records. And the other one is the cash disbursement made by SESP syndrome Berhad to pay for the vendor. From the process of activity, identify liability due, update account payable records, prepare cash disbursement, payment to account payables, and post to general ledger. Next to enrollment are the contact diagram of purchase order and cash disbursement made by the SESP syndrome Berhad. The highest level of DFD is called contact diagram. It provides a summary levels view of the system, and it depicts a data processing system and the external entities that are consist sources of its input and destination of its output. Next, enrollment are the logical DFD of purchase order and logical DFD of account payables and cash disbursement. Data flow diagram is the graphical descriptions of the sources and destination of data. They show where data comes from, where it flows, the processes performed on it, and where it goes. And lastly, environment are the flowchart of purchase order and the flowchart of cash disbursement. Flowchart of purchase order shows the dividend of department, which are purchase department, receive or inspect department, and inventory control. Flowchart of account payables and cash disbursement shows the dividend of department, which start from account payables departments, cash disbursement, and lastly general ledger. That's all from me, and my group members will continue to the next point. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nid Nurin Atira binti Nid Faizul with metric number 273031. So I will continue our group presentation with possible strength of internal control and also the possible weakness of SESB's procedure. So the possible strength we have three main, which is a data accuracy, prevent fraud, and also the time saving and efficient work environment. So the first one, for the data accuracy, as we know, is very important in every company. So for SESB, they automated posting the two subsidiary and general ledger account. For example, Shima is the account officer that responsible in cash receipt, cash collection, will use the accounting software to key in all the customer details, production costs, and also the quantity delivered. So the transaction will automatically record in the sales journal, current account receivable, and also the general ledger master files. And this actually will reduce the information error. The faster the account receivable record or updated, company can make immediate recognize revenue and also can make a more accurate budget sales for the latest data. The second one, we have a prevent fraud, which is mostly occur due to the insiders. So multi-level security is very important, which is the program technique to prevent the leak of information to those the lack of authorized. So for example, Selamat, which the store executive will make sure only the authorized employees can be at the storeroom area to prevent missing of inventory and reduce the possibility of the fraud occur. And the last one is the time saving and efficient work environment. So if a company use a properly internal control, they have enough time to do other work. Employees will be more focused and able to produce a very quality work. So I will continue to the possible weakness. So the first one is risk of misappropriation of cash receipt. So for example, employee who did not involve in any cash receipt procedure need to comparing the copy of pre-list, deposit slip, and also the related journal voucher. This is to prevent the fraud, also information errors, and improve the multi-level security. So for the second one, we have a no daily reports. If with daily report, actually company can make a comparing from day to day to improve either in the aspect of employee skill management, product service, and others. Especially for the top level manager, they should always observe the employees works and performance to reduce the risk of making mistake, and also to improve their quality of working. Okay, so for the third one, we have no platform for customer feedback. Customer feedback is still very important to company because it always make them satisfied and loyal to our company. Sometimes company and employees not recognize their own mistake, especially for the small mistake, and it might affect a company's reputation. It not only for customer, but actually it might giving an impact for investor and others company's perspective. And the last one, we have manually record the inventory stock. So it actually might lead the store executive to make some mistake, and if a mistake happen, overselling might be occurred and affect the sales budget of the company. It will also take a more time and more confirmation of the current status of each inventory. Same goes to record the balancing inventory at the end of the day. So it need more energy and time to complete the task, and may lead to the reduce the employee motivation. So I think that's all from me. I will pass our group presentation to my friend. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum to my lecturer, Madam Raudah Danila. So now I am going to explain about risk exposure for SASB Berhad. There are three risk exposure. The first one is theft, second is shipping wrong items, and the last one is fraud detection. The first risk is theft. Theft is one of the greatest risks related with stock control, particularly when it comes to high-value stock. Without an appropriate review on the deliveries, when they arrive at the warehouse, the number of deliveries requested may be the same as the ones that have been gotten, as the chance of being stolen when it was in transit can be very high. Second possible risk is fraud detection. Inadequate segregation of duties may lead to the possibility of fraud within the organization. Examples include receiving cash from customers and not recording transaction in company records, knowingly underreporting sales transaction, or over-reporting payments to retailers, losing invoice and receipts, hiding debts in off-balance sheet accounts, and filing inaccurate yet fake reports to auditors and tax authorities. Next is shipping wrong items. As inventories is managed manually, some error might happen, even though it involves little cost. This is related to human errors, such as error in picking items that will result in deliver wrong items or quantities to customer. In addition, inventory shortage or stock out and overselling might happen due to picking wrong items. I am going to explain about internal control. There's two internal control. The first one is physical control and IT control. For transaction authorization, the SCSB Berhad should provide a checklist of remittance against theft of checks and guidance on remittance. Also, they should have supervision mail room response, that is, person is entitled to cash and remittance advice, and also SCSB Berhad should monitor access to the security of the warehouse. Next is segregation of duties. We should segregate the duties. For example, cash receipt function should be segregated from the AR function. And next, cash receipts department does not have access to the general ledger account. And finally, inventories of warehouse staff that have control of inventory should not liable for inventory information. And the last physical control is independent verification. Physical processes along with record keeping should be independently checked at different points in the system to check for quality and completeness of. The first one is shipping clarifies that the goods delivered from the warehouse are accurate in form and quantity. Next, the warehouse incorporates the stock release documents, which is picking slip and the packing slip, and also the billing corresponds to the shipping notice with the sales invoice. And the journal ledger reconciles journal vouchers from billing, inventory control, cash receipts, and accounts receivable. For the IT controls, as we all know, authorization and access to data can be done via computer screens. So there is a reduction in the number of papers. Manual journals and ledgers are changed to disk or tape transactions and master files. Typically, input is still from a hard copy document and goes through one or more computerized process, and processes store data in electronic files, which is tape or disk, or prepare data in the form of hard copy report. To understand files, we need to consider the nature and layout of the documents. Documentation and files used as input sources must contain the data required to produce input reports. We would suggest that the scanner technology is used, which means that the commodity code scanners in the warehouse and shipment check that the selected products match those in the order of sales. Double order incorrectly picked by the warehouse guy or any human error can be avoided by this way. Also, another approach is to use the automated inventory ordering. In this process, when the inventory record is changed to represent sales, the machine checks the reorder point, and if it's below it, generates a purchase requisition and reorders the inventory. When an item is on order, the control must be in place to ensure that it is not ordered again until it has been issued.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. Thank you to my other friends. Now I will talk about part B about how to defend ourselves on cybercrime attacks. At first, my name is Anisha Nabila. My mention number is 272837. Now, what is cybercrime? Cybercrime is any crime that takes place on internet or primarily online by assaulting computer network or computer. To defend ourselves from cybercrime attacks, we can use this way to protect our personal information. First, we can use a secure and unique password. To create a secure and unique password, we can use at least 10 letters, symbols, and numbers to create the password. To recall the password that already been used, we can use a password manager program to recall and remember ourselves about the password that already been used. Next, to protect ourselves from cybercrime attacks, we need to use security software that up to date. And if we use a new design of security software, it will make us less likely to become a candidate from cybercrime attacks. Okay. Next, the third way that to protect ourselves from cybercrime is never open or click link in spam email and unknown website. If we unconsciously click it, that is make the hackers easily take our personal information without our knowing. Next, always contact financial institution if something not right happen. If we did not do any transaction, we should call the institution and ask what is happening to make sure that our money at the bank is safe and did not taken by other people without our knowing. Okay, the last way is encrypt and backup the data. If we encrypt our data, the hackers cannot copy our files because all files will get garbage and cannot be used, especially address book and financial document. If we did not do any backup, If the hackers put the virus on our computers, we cannot open any document that's already been attacked by the virus. That's all from me and my friends. Thank you.